Welcome to a brand new episode of Valholla Now Radio. I'm your host, Vince Valholla. We have a new format this year, so I'm trying something new this year. This year, I am trying to do a more long form podcast style. I'm still gonna refuse to call this a podcast, but I want to do more of a style that's going to be long form, just so instead of having it how I had used to have before. So just in case if you guys have missed this part, but basically, Valholla Now Radio started out as a playlist mix show, a video playlist mix show. So what I would do is I would have segments, and it would be split between segments within music videos. So it kind of have a feel of like how it used to be on television and so forth, with music videos and so forth, music video, television shows and so forth. But after a lot of feedback I've been getting, I want to try doing more long form podcast style for this scenario and then kind of take it from there. So I hope that you guys like that, because I want to do that. We're on episode 5 now. I'm going to do 100 episodes. Then we'll see where we go. We're going to have guests sometimes. Sometimes it's just going to be me. And if you're new here, what we do is we share music, news. So I should say what we do on this show is we share the business of music. What I do is I share what I know about the music business, and I kind of parse the information that is out now, share my predictions and things of that nature. So if you're not familiar with the content, just know that what we do is we share the business of music and entertainment on this show. So that's what we do. But yeah, let's get the show started. So basically, this year started off crazy because I was traveling all month in December, and for those that don't know, I spent half of my time in Miami and half of my time in LA. And I got to LA, and this was days before the wildfires happened. It's like people got notifications about, winds, heavy winds that was going to come. It was going to be a windstorm. People got the notifications, but the thing is that I'm not sure. I'm not a native of LA, but I'm not sure how people in LA took that news, and if anybody, or if a lot of people that were native to LA knew how bad the LA wildfires were going to be, both in the Palisades and Eaton and other areas. But it ended up being catastrophic. So much devastation. It's like I couldn't work for a week because it's like I didn't know if we were going to evacuate. I didn't know what was going to happen. So it was one of those situations where it was just up in the air. Thankfully, I didn't have to evacuate. But, obviously, so many people lost their homes, lost, a lot of things. Some people lost their loved ones. So it's like, I know there's a lot of people that's native from LA, and, they really came together. I've been doing everything I can to, spread awareness of things and share support links and things of that nature. I'm doing everything I can, but there's so many people that are native of LA that have really stepped up and really gave back. You know what I'm saying? So it's great to see. I call LA my second home now. So it's like I'm so thankful to be here and be. I love LA. So Miami is my first home. LA is my second home, and I'm proud to call LA my second home. So now we're in a phase of, just a rebuild type of situation here. So I want to send my love and prayers to anybody affected by the LA wildfires. both in the Palisades and then also in Eaton. Altadena is a area. It's a historical Black area, from what I understand. Again, I'm not native of LA, but being here and learning certain things, I'm definitely going to leave some links in the description, so you could, if you want to, help, people here wherever you're watching this from. If you want to help, I'll leave links in the description so you can do that. But yeah, so one of the first things I want to talk about in this episode is the Grammy events and the Grammy show telecast. I've seen a lot of people talk about having the Grammys canceled and things of that nature. So just before we go on, I'm a member of the Recording Academy, and I want to make sure people know that the Grammys, the Recording Academy, is more than just an award show. They help countless musicians per year. Whenever disasters like this happen, they step up. Whenever there is legislation that needs to be brought forth to Capitol Hill, they step up. So I'm super thankful to be be a member of this great organization. And for people that think that, okay, they can just cancel or whatever the case may be, they've already put out information and pledged that they're going to be able to use proceeds from the telecast, which is going to happen to help families as far as in the LA fire. And for those that don't know, they signed a new deal with Disney to telecast the show on Disney Network. So that's going to be ABC, if I'm not mistaken. So right now it's on CBS. CBS had the Recording Academy and the Grammys. They had a deal with the Grammys for years now, decades. So it's moving to Disney. So imagine the last 2 years, you got 2 years, and CBS is saying like, well, yeah, the LA fires happened, but they obviously have a deal. Like, obviously, again, like this, we there's a lot of things that I like. For example, like for me personally, like I've been seeing a lot of companies, like most of the companies that I've seen that are going to have Grammy events, they've canceled it. So I think that's the right thing to do. I think the entire show, I just want you to think about, imagine you're a musician, you work 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, however long, and you finally get a Grammy nomination. And then the actual in total award show, obviously, and I'm sure a lot of people might not care whatever that's attending, whatever the case may be. But imagine you just got your first nomination and this happens. And obviously, you want to be able to be respectful for the people that lost a lot. But at the same time, you want to be recognized for your hard work or whatever the case may be. So it's like I think today we just need a lot more nuance with subjects and so forth. So it would have been nice I'm sure if they had a lot more time, they probably would have moved it. But I'm behind what the Recording Academy has done so far. But with in regards to supporting and helping with the LA fires and so forth. So hats off to them. So as far as on that end, but yeah. So as far as on that, now I want to get into TikTok. So TikTok announced today again. They keep saying, hey, like, we're going to shut down on Sunday. If you're watching this on I'm recording this, just so you know, I'm recording this on the 15th. So the Supreme Court is supposed to actually make a judgment on this, but they haven't yet. They're supposed to make a judgment today. Everyone thought they were going to make a judgment today, but they didn't. So with that being said, we should hear something this week. They say they want to shut down on Sunday, which is the 19th, which is right before the inauguration. I don't think that it's going to shut down. I don't think that the um, the app is going to fully shut down. If it does shut down for a day or two, it's going to come back. The incoming president is going to save it, in my prediction, and so forth. And again, like I think that's what's going to happen, and so forth. So yeah. So as far as on TikTok, we'll see. We'll come back. We'll come back next week. We'll see what the update is on that. We started a new year, so I want to kind of talk about my predictions for this year. I think this year is going to be a lot of the same of last year, business-wise, music business-wise. So let me tell you what I mean. We're going to see continued consolidation of distribution companies and any company that has artist services or whatever the case may be. We're going to continue to see consolidation of those companies to major labels. So major labels are going to be buying more companies that are both distribution companies, artist service companies, things of that nature. So you're going to see a lot more of that. You're going to see a lot more this year of catalog acquisitions. You're going to see catalog acquisitions from both the major label side, and you're going to see it from the side of the. You're going to see it from the major label side, and you're going to also see it from venture capital. You're going to see it from both sides. So that's my prediction on that. As far as music itself, I feel like the business itself is going to continue to grow. There's been consistent growth year over year. I think the market's going to grow. We've seen increased numbers of subscribers of streaming in India and other countries. So we're going to continue to see that. We're going to continue to see more growth in that area. Obviously, it's going to probably be slower than usual. I'm sure everybody that follows that knows that that's probably going to be the case. Also, on the subject of just over the overall business, I think that, again, as far as on the independent space, anybody that's following independent music, to be honest with you, I really can't see. I don't really know, because I think a lot of the moves that are going to happen as far as signings, things of that nature, a lot of the moves that's going to happen is going to be determined on how the market's doing and things of that nature. I think it's going to be a direct response from that. So we're going to see a lot more of that kind of situation happen. Live music. So I think there's going to be a lot more live music acquisitions this year. Today it was just announced. Again, I'm filming this on January 15th. It was just announced today that Dice sold the Boiler Room to a live company called Superstruct. That company was acquired by KKR in 2024. So again, we're going to see a lot more consolidation in the live music space and things of that nature. So any platforms that you might see popping, that was popping years up to 2024, you might see some sales happen as far as on that end. So look out for that. I saw, and just going back to TikTok, I saw news about Elon and Mr. Beast trying to buy, or saying that they're going to buy TikTok. That's not going to happen. That's definitely not going to happen, because TikTok already said that if they sold, they would only sell without the algorithm. And from what I'm hearing, they are not going to sell. So that means that we're not going to see a sale of TikTok at all, period. So you could forget that. That's not going to happen. So yeah, just forget that possibility. Now, when it comes to AI, obviously that's going to continue to grow and evolve. I'm not sure on how it's going to be in connection with companies. The reason why I'm saying that is because with a recent, with recent lawsuits that have happened with major labels to AI companies. I'm not sure how it's going to translate into newer companies coming into the market and using music. So we'll have to see on how AI. I just know that it's going to continue to grow. We'll just have to see how things transpire in the market in connection to that. Also, in UMG news, UMG currently is on the stock market, and they're in the Amsterdam exchange. There's a possibility that they could actually move to the U.S. stock exchange, somewhere in the U.S. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that. Now, in regards to predictions, I have been saying this for years, and this is not just because our label kind of transitioned to a more of a label is the artist type of model. But I believe that labels are going to find ways to incorporate within their business the label is the artist type model. The label is the artist type model gives the label a little bit more control over release schedule in that sector and so forth, as far as that part of their company. And I think that's going to happen. If you want to know more about the label is the artist, I wrote a case study on the label is the artist, so you could actually check it out in the link in the description. So as far as music news, that's pretty much about it this week, but there's a bunch of other things that are happening. So definitely, if there's anything that you want me to cover, let me know in the comments. Now, I want to talk about a couple of things that I'm watching right now. Now, obviously, we know Keke Palmer has a new movie coming out called One of Them Days. It recently had a #1. That's right. It recently had a 100% on the Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know, if people follow that or whatever, but sometimes it's accurate, and it's at a 100%. So what that means is that it's a good chance it's going to be really good. It could be a classic. So it's produced by Issa Rae. We're going to see it. We're going to check it out. We're going to kind of circle back when the movie drops to see what y'all think about it and so forth. Now, another show I'm watching is called The Agency. I think it's 2 more episodes left as of me recording this, but it's like a spy thriller. It's on Paramount Plus. Y'all should check that out. I'll probably do something more in depth later, but I love spy thrillers. I love that kind of show, and the cinematography, the writing, the cast. It's an amazing show, so y'all check that out. Also, before the LA fires, there was a event that I attended at LACMA, and that event showcased a movie called Diva from 1981. It's a cult classic. I didn't know that going into it, but Diva is a movie that I got to see, thankfully, because of this event, and I fell in love with it. It's a beautiful film. If you get a chance, it's available for rent. Check out Diva, 1981. It's a great film. It's like it's almost like an art thriller. It's like an art film, but it's like a thriller. It's really dope. So check out Diva. I'm not gonna really give you too much as far as to spoil the plot, but it's a great film. Check it out. Y'all let me know what y'all think. And yeah, there's a couple other things I'm watching. I'm watching Squid Game 2, season 2. Season 2 is great. It was obviously filmed back. Season 2 and season 3 was filmed back to back. So season 3 is supposed to come out later this year. It's been great so far. It's different than season 1. So if you're going in thinking it's going to be like season 1, you're going to be disappointed. I think you should go in with no expectations, and I think you'll like it. What else is on television right now that I'm watching? There's a bunch of other things, but I guess I'll share some more as I go and so forth. But y'all check those out. And if you're watching those, let me know what y'all think about those shows in the comments. Now we're about to wrap up. So just so you're aware, make sure you stay behind. If you're listening to this on a playlist, either on YouTube or Spotify, wait till the end to listen to some picks. It's going to be some music videos if you're on YouTube, and if you're on Spotify, it's going to be just music. So make sure you stay behind to listen to some music picks and so forth. Oh, and lastly, I want to address this. So I did get questions and people asking me about what I think about the whole Drake lawsuit and so forth. But to be honest with you, I've made a conscious decision to stay away from that whole beef because I had a prediction. Not a prediction, but I had a feeling that it was going to get toxic. I felt like the fandom of both sides is a little crazy. So to kind of not argue with anybody back and forth, because if I say something, it could be in support of, if somebody might be thinking I'm against one artist or whatever. I like both artists, so it's like, it's kind of crazy for me to kind of chime in for it, for these are two artists that I listen to. So it's like, it's one of those things where I choose to keep my comments and my thoughts to myself. And it's really giving me peace, to be honest with you. So it's giving me peace. I don't got to argue with nobody. Let me just talk about what I know, which is the business of music. And that's it. I don't want to go back and forth about fans and, whatever the case may be. So with that being said, it's a good chance I probably may never speak about it, but let's see what happens. Let's see how things play out. Oh, and I want to address one thing because I keep getting alerts about it because I left a comment on someone's post. But there's an artist by the name of Sobe, and she posted about Distrokid and how there was a situation that she had. You could check out the video, but for the most part, what happened is that it was another artist that would take her acapellas and create new songs that were out here, and they would create new songs and they would put out those songs without her consent. So they would be using her copyright without her consent. So obviously they were committing copyright infringement. I'm just gonna put a screenshot here and I'll put a link to the comment, but you can kind of follow up and check out the video. She posted 3 videos and so forth. And this is what I responded. And I said, hey, I've dealt with this a few times. And if you've ever had anyone who uses your music or acapellas or anything, go to YouTube and find a song. It should tell you the distribution company they've used and file a DMCA takedown with their distribution company. You can file a legal complaint if it's repeated. There are resources for free legal representation. Obviously, I said that there was this, that this wasn't legal advice, but I mentioned to call the American Bar Association for more information on free legal services. But for artists, if you guys ever have a situation where, you can file a DMCA request to take someone's work down that is infringing on your copyright. Obviously, this isn't a system you should be abusing, but for her situation, I highly suggest that as far as in the future, after you knock an infringer a couple times, they'll stop eventually, hopefully. But shouts to her. I hope that she gets that situation dealt with. But to also, I want to also say that when you sign up with these companies like Distrokid, TuneCore, things of that nature, and you're paying a monthly service, there's so much limited things that they can do, if that makes sense, because like, for example, TuneCore or Distrokid isn't going to file a DMCA takedown request as far as on your behalf if that perpetrator or whoever it is isn't using a just that particular distribution platform that you're using, if that makes sense. So it's like there's a lot of, when you're an independent artist, there's a lot of things that you got to do on your end to protect yourself. So I hope, I think she mentioned that she was looking for management, but I hope she can get a situation where she can have someone on her team that can kind of attack stuff like this, because there's so much that there's so little that Distrokid can do, and yeah. So as far as on that end, like, if someone's infringing on, I just for some background, I've obviously been a distributor. Our company has distributed other artists' music for over 20 years. So we've done it physically, digitally, when, iTunes first came out, all the way up to now. So, yeah, with that being said, you guys gotta, like, artists, you gotta make sure that you go ahead and just, have someone hopefully that could either learn it yourself or have someone that can give you an opportunity to kind of file these complaints and things of that nature. Get, like I said, look into some free legal as far as on that end, or get your money up to, have some legal representation and so forth. But that's my take. That's not legal advice. But yeah, I wanted to, at least before we ended it, I wanted to kind of mention that. But with that being said, we're going to get into the music. So stick around. So if you're on a playlist, you're going to listen to some music. If you're not, you're not. But find a playlist. You can always go ahead and find a playlist. The link should be in the description to make sure that you're in a playlist. After you listen to the show, listen to the music. Again, we are this is I refuse to just call it a podcast. This isn't just a podcast. I'm doing this in a new format because I want to be able to give people, a longer. I want to be able to give people, as far as a longer format, as far as within that, and kind of take it from there. But yeah, Valholla Now Radio is a video playlist mix show. So that's what we're going to deliver. Listen to the music after this, and I hope you check us out next week. With that being said, if you guys have anything that you want me to cover, make sure you put in the comments. You can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, hopefully. And thanks for rocking with me. With that being said, we'll see y'all next week. Oh, and by the way, I don't know exactly what day that I'm going to be recording this. We'll figure it out, but I'll aim to deliver this every week. And with that being said, see y'all next week. Peace.